Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I am the fourth, and today we're going to be taking a look at a video by channel Reshaping Our World. I think this guy had a different channel at one point. I think it was like a year ago that I went over one of his videos, and he had a different name. Looks like he may have gotten censored, kicked off. I'm not sure. I really didn't feel like digging too deep, but he's back with a vengeance and a different channel name and demands for NASA. We might be able to take a look at two videos today. They're kind of short. I'm in a bit of a rush because I had a couple videos lined up. Turned out they were critic videos, and I didn't want to criticize someone who was criticizing Flat Earth. That just seems weird. So we're going to be doing this guy instead. So let's just jump into it. These are kind of short, and let's hear what he wants from NASA.
So that's...
Oh, by the way, this video is called Flat Earth. Either we put real pressure on NASA, or we're just wasting our damned time, with a bunch of question marks at the end.
You know, I'm sorry. This is where we're at with the Flat Earth topic, people.
Where at?
We get something done about it, or I'm done talking about it.
Well, there we go. We're done. Let's pack it up and get... No, that's not going to happen, of course. Also, I understand why it's a choice you make. First of all, I don't like being in your garage. That seems a little bit creepy. Also, giving the camera crazy eyes the whole time is very disheartening, very uncomfortable for me. Feel like he's gazing into my soul through my monitor. I'd rather if you didn't. And it just gives off like serial killer vibes being in this garage and him staring directly at us.
It's tedious to sit here on these censored platforms and bounce from one to the next, thinking the next one just isn't going to be censored. Have we figured that out yet?
So this is why I think that he got kicked off of YouTube initially for Flat Earth beliefs. I don't believe in kicking anyone off for anything. You should be allowed to formulate an opinion. If you're calling for violence or you're actively threatening people, that's an issue. Spreading information that could be false. He might genuinely believe that the Earth is flat. He might not be a Poe. There's no way of knowing. But you have to put ideas out there and let people make their own decisions. That's my 2 cents.
Eventually, BitChute, Rumble.
You can see the wheels turning. Yeah, you can see the wheels turning there. He could come up with BitChute and Rumble. Granted, I probably can't come up with much better. There's DLive, Twitch, what other streaming service? I don't know if there's a whole lot of streaming servers, but isn't Rumble more like a chat app like Gab, Minds, Parler? I don't know.
Will be censored from the truth. Just like the media companies, they're all owned eventually by the same people. And
eventually, all media companies are owned by the same person. So CNN and Fox are owned by the same people. Got it.
If they're not, they will be.
Oh, so you're a fortune teller. You can predict the future.
The owners of those sites have prices, just like the owners of YouTube did.
I wonder if you also have a price. In which case, that might be tied to your sub count or your ad revenue. I don't know. Just guessing. As a fellow YouTube whore who actually doesn't make any money on this site, it's just a guess.
Before Google took it over and turned it into the Chi-communist platform of censorship that it is.
Disavow. I mean, YouTube is censoring people, but they're allowed to. But I have to disavow the Chi-com part for reasons. Also, stop staring at me.
So, I am asking, and I am 100% dead serious. Please, send this video to NASA, Globe Trolls.
Interesting name. I've never heard that one before. I've never been called a Globe Troll. Let's speed him up a little bit. I feel like we're falling behind. Let's go 1.25. Also, do you think I just have a direct line to NASA? Yeah, I'm gonna call up the CFO of NASA.
Let me enjoy the sounds of their silence in response, because they care nothing about Americans, nothing about people in general, other than to lie to them and deceive them about where they really live.
Okay, so that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're saying, well, yeah, you're going to reach out to them and it's just going to be silence because they don't care about Americans, or they don't know you exist. They don't know about you. I don't have a direct number for NASA. I highly doubt anyone on YouTube does. If they do, that's actually kind of awesome. I have a NASA shirt because I actually think NASA's pretty cool, and they do a lot of stuff for us. I understand they are a big chunk of our, well, I shouldn't say a big chunk of our budget, because relatively speaking, they're a very small portion of the American budget, but there is a lot of money going to NASA in general compared to like the amount of money going to me, wink wink. But it doesn't really, it has effects on American life is what I'm saying.
NASA, employ some Americans to do some actual scientific experimentation.
All right, so rovers on the moon, lunar landers, that kind of stuff, that's not scientific experimentation. All right.
To build a device that could be used repeatedly to show the people the awesomeness of the gravity you claim that created the globe we apparently, supposedly, purportedly live on.
I've got a device that can show gravity right here. Ready? This is just a remote. There. I don't know if you guys could hear that. Let me do it again. Maybe you can put it together. Yeah, it falls. That's gravity. You can't really show gravity. I mean, there have been some tests that proved it. Like there was that experiment where they took a graduated cylinder filled with different density materials and they took it into a plane that was doing a parabolic flight and they all mixed. Whereas usually, you know how like water and oil will separate. Hi, helicopter. Sorry about the noise. I have my window open because it's a nice night and I guess a helicopter just wants to go overhead right now. My apologies. So, yeah, but the experiment where water and oil typically separate in a cylinder, they'll stack on top of each other based on how dense one is compared to the other. But if you take them into a plane that is flying in a parabolic arc, which means it's falling so fast that it's going about the rate of, you essentially feel like you're in a zero-G environment, and the materials in that graduated cylinder mixed with each other because there was no reason for them to separate anymore because they were not affected by gravity.
I've asked for a budget of $1 million. That is a tiny fraction of your annual budget. People pointed out yesterday my numbers were incorrect. I was thinking of the 56 million per day. So it's in the 20 billions.
Okay, so because NASA gets $56 million a day, you feel entitled to $1 million of that budget for what?
Per year. The point still stands. $1 million is a tiny fraction of that total. And the fact that NASA will not grant people that money to employ them, oversee the project, to create a level trench over 1 mile to mechanically measure the supposed curvature of standing bodies of water on Earth.
So you think that NASA should hire you to prove something that doesn't need to be proved? That seems absolutely ridiculous. Also, I don't trust you with $1 million budget. Like, look at that mailbox. Look how packed that mailbox is. I don't know why you have stuff sitting on top of a water heater. That seems dangerous. And this is just the stuff I can see behind you in your garage, man. Like, I don't want to give you $1 million.
That has never been done in history by anyone.
What experiment? What is your proposed experiment?
Your absolute refusal to do so, even after receiving emergency relief money for the COVID pandemic, speaks volumes, NASA. It shows that you are all about propaganda and nothing about science.
I don't see how that proves his claims. Like, because NASA doesn't respond to you and give you $1 million, even though they received COVID money, means that they aren't scientific. Okay.
And truth. What say you? Other than the nothing or propaganda responses you've become so fond of using.
Why are you
anything but real science?
He's so mad. He's just so angry at NASA over not responding to him. Bro, you are a small channel on YouTube with 100 subscribers. They don't know who you are. They don't. I hate to burst the bubble. You're not that popular. As somebody who is not popular, because I have less than 20 subscribers, I get it, but at the same time, like, they don't owe you anything.
Fond of using. We're still waiting for an answer. NASA.
Jeez. He's grumpy. Okay, so that was one. Let's see if we can get this other one up. There we go. Ba-ba-da-da. All right. So this one is called, how long we got? Oh, we're at the 10-minute mark. That's fine. We'll try and rush through this one a little bit faster. Let's put them at 1.5. This one is called, that's the subtitles button. This one is called Flat Earth. What terrifies NASA more than fake space aliens? Mechanical measurements of curvature. And you can always tell somebody is serious because they put an emoji at the end of the title on their YouTube channel. I think I'm going to start doing that with all of my videos. Just putting emojis on them to prove my seriousness.
See, this is the distinction, folks. What terrifies NASA is mechanical measurement of the complete and absolute lack of curvature on Earth.
How do you measure the lack of something? I mean, I kind of get it, but if you're looking for, that's not how experimentation works. If you have a hypothesis, you go out and prove that. You could probably do it on your own. I mean, I've seen a lot of money raised in the flat earth community, which is kind of ridiculous. They've made documentaries. They bought like a $25,000 laser ring gyro, which was, I mean, it kind of blew their theories out of the water, but you get it.
The video observations people have done showing we can see way farther than we should can and will continue to be chalked up to refraction. Surely we've figured that out by now. They will just drum that mantra till the cows come home.
Or maybe that's what it is and you guys just don't understand it. I mean, more Dunning-Kruger.
They cannot do that with physical, mechanical measurement that is repeatable, verifiable, and falsifiable by anyone.
Okay, if you need $1 million to do it, though, how is it falsifiable by anyone? Also, I don't think you're using the word mechanical right. Physical, maybe. Like, if you're using a physical object, maybe he is. Maybe I could be wrong. Also, stop getting closer to the camera. You're making me uncomfortable. Back up a little bit.
So, if we were to construct a device that allows any time to be verified that it's level over a mile and filled with water, then anyone can observe this at any time and mechanically measure it themselves.
Okay, then do it. Do it. You don't have blueprints. You don't have a plan. You don't have a suggestion. You're just saying, I want this money to come up with an idea. No, that's not how it works. Bring up the plans. Write up the plans. Make up the drawing, and maybe somebody else can build it. Maybe NASA themselves will build it. But what I can tell you is that structures like the oh my goodness, I'm going to skip over this, come back to it if I think about it.
And prove to themselves beyond a shadow of a doubt there's no curvature. That's why they're terrified, and that's why we should be focusing on doing that and only that, because they cannot deny what you can physically measure and prove over and over and over again. This is why we get trolls still in our comments claiming Bob Nodell, a flat earther, proved the rotation of their Earth, something NASA has never been able to do.
NASA hasn't proved the rotation of the Earth, but they have put people into space using the concepts of the rotation of the Earth to make sure the launch goes off without a hitch and goes in the right direction. They've also used the gravity of the moon multiple times for probe launches, for the moon landing. They've also brought spaceships back, or landers back. They even have a satellite orbiting right now that requires the rotation and circle and rotation and shape of the Earth to be what we believe it to be.
And they think this is proving something. They think one experiment without controlled parameters proves the Earth rotates. No, that's their desperate propaganda again, because they have no real science to prove their absurd claims that we live on a whirling, twirling space ball. We have to keep throwing this in their faces, and we have to be resolved and adamant about it. The louder we scream, why is it that we're continually labeled as conspiracy theorists, science deniers? It's hard to do that if we're just out here repeatedly saying, hey, NASA, let's get together and prove the curvature of Earth.
I just remembered what I wanted to circle back to is Jen Psaki? I don't know if that P is silent or not. the new press secretary, what she would say. I wanted to circle back to the LIGO experiment. That's what I was forgetting about. I forgot the name for some reason. For those of you who don't know, the LIGO experiment is a way to measure the effect of gravitational waves by using lasers at a 90-degree angle. So it's two lasers shot away from each other at 90 degrees, and then they bounce and return. And if they come in contact with gravitational waves, it will actually change the laser. It'll either stretch it or shorten it based on where it gets hit, and return to the collection plate at a different time than the original laser. Now, they've precisely measured out both arms, made sure the lasers are calibrated and everything. And in order to account for the curvature of the Earth, because one channel for each laser is 6 miles long, in order to account for the curvature of the Earth, they had to lay down a whole bunch of concrete. Near the end, it's up like 7 or 8 feet of concrete to keep that laser channel level. So if that doesn't show some kind of curvature of the Earth, I don't know what does.
That you claim. Why does it take a bunch of flat earthers to beg NASA to prove the curvature they claim is on Earth? Why don't these globe priests that spend all their time slandering and degrading us, why don't they ever? Don't they need jobs?
Also, regarding LIGO, there's actually 2 facilities to help measure gravitational waves because they are massive, but they're both in the United States of America. One is up in like the Washington area, I think. And I think the other one is near Louisiana, but I'm not entirely sure.
Because apparently they have all day to sit around and stare at my pretty face and Photoshop it to put out propaganda as they slander me. And Nate Thompson and any other flat earther.
Yeah, because Photoshop's easy. I mean, I've made stuff in there that I was fairly proud of in an hour.
Funny how that works. Guess they don't want to actually work for their money. Guess they want to talk about how much they know about science when they're totally oblivious. They're just allergic to actually doing it.
Yeah, but I'm sure the people that are memeing you and photoshopping your face and discrediting you or doing what I'm doing, criticizing your idea and your demand for NASA to give you money, I don't think they're from NASA. I just think, like myself, they're people on the internet who find you to be a laughingstock and don't want other people to go down this rabbit hole. Look at this guy. Do you want to be like this guy? Look at this. Look at the crazy eye. Sorry I left the mouse on him for so long. Look at that. He is terrifying. Do you want to be like that?
They can't even put a proposal out to their heroes, NASA, to prove flat earthers wrong.
Because NASA has done so many things to prove you wrong already. You just want money for your pet experiment. Go raise it somewhere else.
I mean, according to globe earthers, if this device was built and filled with water, it would show curvature. That would prove flat earthers wrong. But they don't want to do that.
What device? Oh my god, I need to go digging for this device. I'll try and do that next time.
It's ridiculous to even ask for funding to perform such physical demonstration and mechanical measurement of curvature. What truly terrifies the globe cult. Mechanical, verifiable, repeatable by anyone on Earth.
Stop yelling at me. It's not that serious. Also, hey guys, we're in a cult if we believe the Earth is round.
Measurement of curvature. Why does it terrify them? Because it doesn't exist. See, this is...
I'm not terrified by being wrong. I'm not terrified if the globe exists or not. That just seems ridiculous. I'm terrified of people like you. Whoa. Hey. Yeah, I pulled that up earlier because the Behind the Curve documentary, apparently they accidentally proved curvature of the Earth. They did a light where they shined. They did an experiment where they shined a light through 2 8-foot tall planks that were 4 miles apart essentially, and they had to hold the light way above their head to get it through and see it. And yeah, it's interesting. Go watch it. It's kind of funny. How bad they messed up and proved themselves wrong, but they were propagandists for the globe. They weren't actual flat earthers, so no true Scotsman fallacy. Anyway, I've gone on long enough. We're hitting the 20-minute mark. Thanks for sticking around, guys. If you did, if you didn't, yeah, well, that's your right as a human. You know the deal. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you for stopping by, and I will see you all in the next one.